Hey everybody, Jim Collendorfer here, finally getting around to my how-to on turbo making. Start off with what I use. I use two different sizes of aluminum tubing. I don't know what the smaller size is exactly, but I know the bigger size is 5 3/4, and it's just this K&S aluminum tubing from Hobby Lobby. I get all my supplies from Hobby Lobby. It's the only hobby store we have around here. So a little pipe cutter and solder, which is 4-ounce 1/4 pound acid core. I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's what I use. They're real easy to do. All you got to do is just the way I do it is I take the tubing, the long piece, just because it's easier, and you'll see when you come along, but just take it and bend it around the tube, kind of like you're doing throttle linkage or coilover springs, something like that. Make sure it's nice and tight together. Just pull it out, so then you've got this. Now it doesn't really matter how long it is on either side. You can cut to fit. The one end that comes out goes into the exhaust. But you want to do it with both sizes, and through the magic of television I have done that. So we've got one that's been wrapped around the bigger tube and one that's been wrapped around the smaller tube, so they look pretty much about the same. One thing you want to do is try to get it so that they're opposite each other. On 1.1 turbos, the exhaust part of the turbo, I don't know the technical word for it, but that goes one way, and the inlet that sucks the cool air in goes the opposite way. I don't know why, but that's just how it is on the 1.1 turbos. So that's how I try to do it. It's just my ADD, but I really don't think it matters. And then, so what you got, now that you have this, you want to take your tubing and cut it so that it sticks out just about that much further, about the width of the solder you want it to stick out the ends. I don't know the exact measurements. Like I said, I just do everything by eye. And then you cut it off and slide it in there, and I've got a couple pieces already done, but you just take it, and this is why you wanted to bend it over the long piece of tubing, because there's no way to hold this little piece of tubing and bend the solder. So see how it would be on either side. Kind of want it to stick out, whichever end you left the longest, you want it to stick out on that side. It really doesn't matter though, I suppose, as long as you have some hanging out on both ends. Hope you guys can see that. But and then you just drop a little dab of super glue right in there, and let that dry, and then do the same thing with the smaller ones. Slip the little, and this is cut a little long, but this one you want about the same equal distance on either side. And what I do is I make one side longer, just a little bit, for the fact that this little tube will slide into the bigger one, so it'll fit together and hold together, and you can glue it. And I've got a couple done here. So now that the little tube is glued in, you want to take it, and right where it would be, see how it comes around and then comes out the other end? Right at the top of this, you want to cut it. And you cut it, and then you're going to sand it or file it. And you just file it right along. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you want to file it smooth. I'll put up some pictures at the end of this video, give you guys a little idea of what I'm talking about, because you can't really see. But file one side as flat as can be and let it come around, and gradually go all the way out to the thickness of the solder. Now you want to do that on the little one and the big one, so that when you get it, see how they stick together, and it'll set like that. So this big one will go to the exhaust, and this one will go into the intake. But when you file it together and put the two filed ends together, they'll fit pretty much perfect. And then you just drop a dab of super glue on it and you're good to go. Like I said, I'll put pictures up at the end. Now here's that first one I did. You can run the solder out, and the smaller tubing works perfect as connectors or hard lines, to where you can just slide the solder into it and bend it any way you want to, like that. So I mean, that's pretty much how I do it. It takes about half an hour for each side, just to sand it and glue it, and you wait for the super glue to dry and stuff like that. So like I said, that's really about it. Nothing real fancy. Just make sure you get it and watch what you use, because I found that no matter what tool you use, it's going to touch that solder and it's going to leave a mark. I mean, even fingernails leave marks on it. So when you're sanding it or filing it, I mean, just be careful not to touch what you don't want filed down. And I just use just a little file. I think I got a little 11-piece file kit from Hobby Lobby, and I just end up using the flat. See, leaves all the crap on there, but just use the flat one and the round one, so you can stick it into your larger, ream it out a little bit, so you can get the smaller tube in there as easy as possible, because you want it as little stress and tension with these things as possible, trust me. But yeah, that's about it. Any questions, just give me a shout, either in comments or personal message. Just want to say thanks again for all my new subscribers. Thanks for watching all my videos, putting up with me. Like I said, there'll be a slideshow at the end. I'll get some close-ups so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here and what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's about it. So within like maybe an hour, you guys can have some turbos. And I think I only spent, I think this was the most expensive thing. This was like $7. This was like $4. The tubing was like $2.50, maybe $3. So very inexpensive and really easy to do. Just be prepared to do a couple, because I know it took me at least 3 or 4 to get to where I'm at, and I'm not even happy with the ones that I actually have in my car. So but yep, that's about it. Hope that helps, and guys, take it easy. Happy hump day, and we'll talk to you soon. Alright guys.